Hi everyone, you're very welcome to this afternoon's lunchtime event as part of CAO Institute Virtual Open Week 2021. My name is Orla Maguire. I'm a guidance counsellor here in CAO Institute, and I'm going to talk to you today about how you can further your education, use a PLC course to further your education. Many students come to us to find an alternative route into particular courses, but in recent years, more students are coming to us as preparation for higher education. Students who have completed a PLC course before going into university have less transitional issues than those who went straight into higher education, and tend to do much better from doing the PLC course. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that, about the benefits of it, and then we'll have a look about how to find the different courses that you can study. So why might you study a PLC course? So a good reason is to try out a subject course, a subject area or a course before committing to a 3 or 4 year degree. So by coming in and doing a PLC course, you'll study modules very similar to what you would be doing on the first year of a degree course. You'll also have the opportunity to go on work placement, which will allow you to gain experience in that area. Here in Cavan or on a PLC course, we will give you a lot of information and you'll learn a lot of skills about how to write academic assignments, how to research, how to reference. The Harvard referencing system is very important when you go into university or into an IT, and you'll learn all of those skills here, and they are critical to succeeding at third level. And there's an expectation almost on students when they start off in a degree course that they'll know how to do this work. You'll be only in college a few weeks when you'll get your first assignment, and it might be a 1,500 word essay, and you're thinking, what? How do I do this? Where do I even start with it? So in Cavan, we will teach you all of those skills. In Cavan Institute, we'll teach you all of those skills. In a small class, we generally only have about 20-24 students in our classes, so a much smaller class, a much more supportive learning environment to teach you those skills, so that you're able and ready for that when you start your degree course. Here in Cavan Institute, we will also help you become an independent learner, and you'll learn how to manage your own workload. So we're different from school. While you are timetabled anywhere between 9 to 4, Monday to Friday, you will have breaks in your timetable. You'll have days when you're not necessarily on site. And I suppose from being here in Cavan and working with your tutors, you'll learn how to manage that. What do you do if you've 2 hours off in the afternoon? Do you go home, or do you go to the library and start on an assignment? So you learn a lot of those kind of tips and techniques of how to manage your own workload, which will help you become an independent learner. Again, a critical skill for succeeding in third level, because once you go into university, you won't have the same level of support as you would have in school. I would often describe school as almost, teachers holding your hand the whole way throughout school. We're telling you when to submit your work, what you need to include. If you're not in class, a text is sent out at 10 o'clock in the morning to say you're not in school for the day, what's happening. That doesn't happen in college. If you're in university or in an IT, they're not going to be sending home a message to your parents saying you're missing. So you have to be very motivated, you have to be self-motivated, and you have to be very independent in terms of your learning. And doing a PLC course is a really good way of developing those skills in a small, supportive environment. As I said, all of our courses have the work experience built into them, and this is a fantastic opportunity to try out what it's going to be like to work in an area before committing to a degree. Some students would come to us maybe thinking about doing nursing, but they're unsure whether they're going to enjoy it or not. So they'll go and do work experience in a nursing home, and from that they can say, yeah, this is absolutely the career for me, or actually no, that's not what I thought it was going to be, and decide to move into something different. And it's just as beneficial to decide that something isn't something that you want to do as it is to find out what you want to do, because the more things that you can eliminate, the easier it is then to find the right choice for you. And just an interesting statistic on dropout rates for students in first year of college, and I think this is kind of really hits home when you see it written down. But for students going from Leaving Cert directly into first year of a degree course, the dropout rate is anywhere from 9 to 45%. 45%, like that is such a high number. Now, that higher number tends to be like maybe computer science or computer programming courses, but the average across all courses is anywhere between 18 and 20%. So if you're, in school last week and you're sitting in a classroom with 20 students, that means that possibly 4 of you will drop out during first year of college. So, they're high statistics, maybe even 5 of you, it's high statistics. For students who have done a PLC course, like something here in Cavan Institute, they've done 1 year and then moved on into the first year of their degree course, the dropout rate for those students is 0%. Zero, not even 1%. And that's because those students have learned the necessary skills. So they've studied something similar during their PLC course. So they're like, yeah, love this topic. It's definitely what I want to do. They've learned the academic writing skills. They've learned how to manage their own workload. They're going into first year of college and they're ready for that experience. And we would often find students would come back to us, you know, when they're second, third, fourth year of their degree courses, and they say, they end up being like the mommy or the daddy of the group almost, that the other first years coming from Leaving Cert are coming to them looking for help and looking for advice because they've got the skills in terms of those academic writing. So it's really, really important. So how can you use this qualification then? So if you want to go on into third level, you're going to have to apply through the Higher Education Link Scheme. And this provides progression opportunities for learners who are interested in applying for higher education programs through the CAO. So what does that really mean? Students who have done a level 5 or a level 6 qualification in a PLC college like ourselves are then able to use that qualification instead of their Leaving Cert or in lieu of the Leaving Cert to apply through the CAO to gain access into courses in universities and ITs all around Ireland. So third level colleges, some will reserve a certain number of places each year for students coming through this particular route, and some courses it can be a little bit more restrictive and some are much more accessible, but I'll talk about that a little bit further on in the presentation. The progression then for how you're going to progress through these, I suppose it's important to have an idea of how that will work. And to give you a visual example of it, we have students who come to ourselves and they come with, you know, completed Leaving Cert or Leaving Cert applied. We students come to us from Outreach, and we also would have quite a large cohort of mature students who have been either out of the workplace for a while or maybe are interested in changing jobs or reskilling, whatever the case may be. They come into us to do a course with ourselves, to do a level 5 or a level 6 qualification, and they use that then to progress on to do their degree. And you can go in to do an ordinary degree, a higher degree. And once you've got an honours degree or a higher degree, that is your passport to further education. You can go on and do a postgrad, you can go on and do a doctorate, you can do, you know, all of these opportunities. And there's many success stories out there from students who, you know, early school leavers or students who come through LCA, come through PLC, gone on to college and gone on and done the postgraduate studies, and they're now qualified to doctorate level, which is the highest level you can achieve here in Ireland. So really good progression opportunities available. And as you know, we would always say some of our courses are much more vocationally based, so there is the option of moving into employment as well from those. Just very quickly, I suppose, before we talk about all the progression opportunities in Ireland, there is a lot of opportunities outside of Ireland as well. So we have a lot of students who would go to the UK. Every year we probably have about between 80 and 100 students who will apply and accept places over in the UK. And we have an application process here through UCAS. We will support students with all of that. In more recent years, we are having more and more students apply to go to college over in Europe. And these are courses that are delivered through English, and they're a great opportunity for students to go and access courses that might not be possible for them to do here in Ireland. And Holland would probably be the most popular place at the moment for Irish students to go. So why might you decide to leave Ireland? And it tends to be for very high point or very competitive courses, mainly in the healthcare area. So things like nursing, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, radiography. These areas for here in Ireland, you're looking at maybe 500 plus points. And that's just not attainable for some students. So through doing the PLC course and progressing then over to the UK or Europe, they recognise the PLC courses. They think they're very accepting of them. They appreciate the value of the work that they're learning on them, the work experience element of them. So our students tend to interview very well and are very successful at getting places in these colleges in Europe and in the UK. So just moving on then. We'll have a look at how you're going to go about doing your research. And there's two different ways of looking at this. It depends on where you're at the moment. So you might be sitting listening today thinking, right, well, I have a particular course in mind. I want to go and do business studies in DCU. That's my end goal. And you can start and work back from that and say, right, well, what PLC course can I do that will gain me access into that? or what PLC course can I do that will help me do better at that course when I get a place in it. So that's the first option we're going to look at. The second option would be that maybe you're there and you're like, I actually don't know what I want to do in terms, I know I want to go to university at some stage, but I'm not sure what I want to do. And in that instance, we would suggest that you pick a PLC course that you're interested in, and then you can do some research about where that course might actually bring you and see if any of those options appeal to you. So we'll start off by looking at the first option, option 1, starting with your degree course. And the best way to do your research on this is to go into Google and type in CAO QQI, and it'll bring you onto the CAO website, which will give you this page that you can see on screen now. And if you have a particular course in mind, you just put the course code in. So you'll see there where it says enter CAO course code. So you can put in DC 100 or whatever the course code is. Or if you are thinking, okay, well, I've got accommodation in Dundalk, so I'm going to go to Dundalk. I'm going to see what courses are available in Dundalk. You can use the second box there and click into the institution, and you can select the college that you want to go to, and it'll bring up the whole list of courses. So on the next page now, we'll see what happens when you click onto that. It'll bring up, so I just put in for Dundalk there, and you can see it'll bring up a few different options of courses that have a QQI link to the courses in Dundalk. So we're going to have a look at veterinary nursing here today, because that's quite a popular one from our animal science students. So you'll see on the left hand side you have the course code DK784, then you have the name of the course. The next we have the level, so you'll see level 7, level 8, level 7 being an honours or an ordinary degree, sorry, and a level 8 is an honours degree. The next column you see is very, very important. This is where it might have a particular code. So you can see for veterinary nursing, it's got the FR5M2768, and that is a PLC course in animal care. So if you want to apply to do veterinary nursing in Dundalk using a PLC course, you must be doing the animal care course. You'll see for the bioscience course, they will accept any level 5. So that means you can do any level 5 course and then apply for the science and bioscience course. So it's important that you check that before you start a PLC course to make sure that you're going down the right road. In the next column then you'll see they'll have what we call conditions, what you have to meet to be eligible. And for the veterinary nursing there, they're saying that they're looking for distinctions in 2 particular modules, and again, if you hover over those, they'll tell you what those particular modules are. Again, it's really important that you know this information early on in the year. If you were to come into Cavan and start in animal care and say, you know, maybe not start researching this until February or maybe even March time, and you realise that you need to get distinctions in these 2 particular modules, but already you've submitted 60% of your coursework, and maybe you're thinking, oh, I should have maybe put a bit more effort into that. So it's important to do your research early on so you know exactly what's going to be required of you throughout the course. You'll see then for some of the other courses, the science courses, they're looking for 1 distinction or 2 merits. So the level 7 course are a little bit more, have less or lower entry requirements. The last course there, you see business studies is a level 8. They require 3 distinctions because that's a level 8. So they're looking for slightly higher entry requirements for that one. In the last column then you'll see all these random little figures and numbers, and you might be thinking, what does all of that mean? So the STD stands for standard, so you will be considered as a standard applicant. So this means QQI applicants will be considered among all other applications. So you're in the same category as Leaving Cert students, mature students, everyone's all in one pot. And that's good. That generally means that you have a good chance of getting a place on the course. If the course, like the veterinary nursing, has QTA, that means that there's a quota, that there's a defined number of places available for QQI students. And this tends to be in very, very popular courses such as nursing, veterinary nursing or adult nursing, midwifery, those kind of courses. And the universities, the ITs are a little bit more open to accepting QQI students. The universities tend to have a quota on most of their courses. So it's important just to have a look at that there and see. So that course in Dundalk there, they only accept 4 students every year from QQI. So while they're saying they're looking for 2 distinctions there, you have to think that there's probably going to be people from all over Ireland applying for this course. They've only got 4 places available. The chances are that there's going to be students who are getting 6, 7, 8 distinctions, and they may be offered the place. So if you're looking for any of these courses that have a quota, you need to be aiming to get as many distinctions as possible. Another thing that you might see that you need to just be careful with as well is the CMB. or it might have 1 written in that last box as well. If it says CMB, this means that your QQI course can be completed over a number of years. And this might suit students maybe who aren't able to commit to a full-time course. So they're thinking, right, well, I might just study part-time for 2 years and do 4 modules this year and 4 modules next year. If the course will accept a combined sitting of your qualifications, then you can still use that to go on and progress into 3rd level. If it says 1 at the end, that means that your course must be completed in 1 year. So you have to complete a full award in 1 year from September to May. And that tends to be the case again for the universities, but certainly for the nursing programs, they would expect you to have it in 1 full sitting. Okay, so moving on then, we're going to look at the second option of how to do your research. And this is for students who maybe don't have that end goal in sight. They're not sure where exactly they want to go or what they want to do, but they've decided that they're going to do a PLC course prior to starting university or going on to an IT. So for this, I would advise you to go into Careers Portal. And again, if you just go into Google and Google Careers Portal QQI, it will bring you up at this page here that you see on screen. And there's 2 different search options on this. So the first option is if you have decided on a course, so I'm just kind of going with the animal care examples here today. So if you've decided that you'd like to do animal care in Cavan, you can go into search 1, you'll find the animal care course, you click search and it'll bring up the page that you see in front of us. And this is just a selection of the courses that are available to you that will have a direct link with that animal care course. So for these courses, you have to be doing the animal care course to gain entry to them. And you'll see there, some of those courses are very, very high points, 455, 339, you know, very, very high points, maybe not achievable through your Leaving Cert, but through the QQI, you will have access to those courses. The second option then for doing your research is if you're thinking, well, I'm going to do a course in animal care, but I don't really know where I want to go, what I want to do after that. You can use the second search option, which is search 2. And in this section, you can search for courses that will accept any level 5 qualification. The first box, you can select a career sector. So you might say, right, well, I want to work in hospitality, or I want to work in agriculture, and you click on that and it'll bring up all the courses are available. Or if you just don't select anything for those 2 boxes and click on the search 2 non-specific links, it will bring up all the courses that will accept any level 5 qualification. And there is approximately 830 courses on the CAO that will accept any level 5 qualification. So loads of opportunities available to you having done your PLC course. So next we're going to just have a quick look at what the qualifications, what they mean in terms of CAO points. So when we were looking there at some of those courses that they have, as I said, they have a quota, the restricted number of places. So they will look for distinctions and merits and you'll be graded based on those. But you can actually convert your QQI qualification into Leaving Cert points. And if you were to get 8 distinctions in all of your modules here in Cavan Institute, that would give you a maximum score of 390 points. So that opens up a lot of opportunities for you then in terms of applying through the CEO for courses up to 390 points. So the next then is getting an offer. So how is the whole process going to work for you in terms of getting an offer with your QQI place? And there's a couple of different things that you need to be mindful with this. So as I said, some courses will have a limited number of places for QQI students, tend to be the high demand, high point courses, and these students will get an offer during what we call the round 0 period. And I'll give you a little bit of information on that in a moment. But the majority of our students will accept or will get an offer on courses. If they don't have a particular quota for QQI students, then they will get an offer during round 1 with all the other Leaving Cert students. So the main offer stages, I suppose, of the CEO, we have the round A, which is kind of late June, early July time, and that is for mature students or students who maybe have deferred a place from the year previous. For students who are applying for those kind of quota places, the nursing, the veterinary nursing, some of the universities then for the high point courses, they will get their offers during round 0, and that tends to be early August. And these are for, as I said, students for courses with a reserved number of places for QQI students. Now some students come to us and they panic because the round 0 offers come out and they're like, oh, I didn't get an offer, am I not going to get a place? but it's because they're applying for courses that don't have a reserved number of places. So they're going to get their offer in round 1, which is generally kind of mid-August time. And during this period, the Leaving Cert students will get their offers, and then, as I said, the QQI students for courses with no reserved number of places. And also some students panic when the Leaving Cert results or the round 1's offers come out. They don't get an offer and they think that's it, it's game over. But the CEO have numerous rounds after that. They've round 2, round 3, round 4, right up until the end of the offer season or until all the places are filled. So sometimes students, you mightn't necessarily get an offer in round 1, but you may still go on to get an offer in round 2 or round 3. So it's important just to remember that and try not to panic too much if you don't get the offer when you're hoping to get it. So that's probably the most of what I wanted to cover with you today. Just to summarise, I suppose, a little bit why you might, again, do the PLC course, come to Cavan Institute to do a PLC course with us. And there's a lot of different benefits to it, but the continuous assessment, I think, is a really, really important element of it. Every year we have students who come into us in September time, and the Leaving Cert hasn't gone as they had hoped, or they didn't finish school, or they've been out of education for a while, and their confidence in their own academic ability is just, it's shattered. You know, I'm talking to them about doing courses and doing this and doing that, and they're kind of like, oh, sure, I wouldn't be able for that. Didn't I fail the Leaving Cert, or I dropped out of school, I wouldn't be able to do any of these things. They've no confidence in their own ability. But through studying a PLC course and through doing continuous assessment, it can really enhance that confidence. So rather than, you know, studying for the whole year and relying on 1-2 hour slot, you know, in the beginning of June to show how much you've learned, continuous assessment allows you to work continuously throughout the year. So you're getting you're getting marks for submitting work at Halloween. You might do something else at Christmas. You might do something else at Easter time. Some of our courses, like lots of our courses, our modules and our courses would have no final exam. It would be all continuous assessment. And any of them that do have an exam, it tends to be maybe 30-40% exam at the end of the year. So it allows you to work consistently and steady throughout the year and to do really, really well. And a lot of our tutors, you know, they're very supportive with students in terms of submitting draft versions of their work before their final deadline, which allows you again to take any feedback on board to improve and to ensure that you're getting as many marks as possible. So those students who come in at the end or at the beginning of the year saying, you know, thinking that they're not good enough or they're not able for education, through the continuous assessment, through putting in the work and getting the good grades and getting good feedback, those same students at the end of the year are just like, wow, I can't believe it, I'm getting merits, I'm getting distinctions. Maybe I am ready for college and I am able for it. So it's really, really good for building up your confidence and helping you believe in yourself in terms of your academic ability. We have a massive range of courses. We have over 80 different courses on offer here in Cavan Institute. So, I mean, really something to suit everybody in a whole host of different areas. And if you had joined in any of our sessions earlier in the week or any of our evening sessions, you'll get a great introduction to all the different areas that are available. And we've excellent progression both here in Ireland and further afield. Every year we've hundreds of students gaining places on college courses in ITs and universities in the UK, over in Holland. Amazing opportunities. And you just have a look at our student testimonials to see the different pathways that our students are following. If you have a look at our website, and I think some of them are being shared in the chat box as we're going along, so you'll have access to all of those as well, and to see where our students have gone on to in the past. As I've mentioned, the work experience, really good opportunity for you to get that experience. And it's, you know, using it as a bridging year, I think is really, really important. So, you know, as I said at the beginning, we have the students who come to us and they're very much, you know, have a career plan in place and they didn't get the points or they haven't got the right subjects and they're using the course in Cavan to get them to where they want to go to. And that's brilliant. That's a massive cohort of our students. But certainly in more recent years, we are noticing we're getting more students who are coming to us who are getting the places, they're getting an offer, they're getting the points, they're deferring their places, and they're coming to us for a year to give them a chance to learn these skills, to ensure that once they do start their course, they're going to do much better. You have a much better chance of succeeding at third level having come from PLC. So if you take anything from this at all today, that would be my main point, is to consider the benefits of what you're going to learn from doing this, those academic writing skills, the time management, managing your workload, being able to do your own research, how to find journals online, all of those kind of things. And they'll just give you a really good start for getting off to starting your degree in third level. And we have a really good support structure here for all of our students. We have our class tutor system, your subject tutor, your class tutor. We have the guidance team here, the 3 guidance counsellors here to help all of their students, you know, in terms of choosing those progression opportunities and supporting them with applications. For any students with any difficulties, any learning or physical disabilities, we have the Open Learning Centre here to support them, to ensure that they're able to access their education as best as they can. So all in all, there's a lot of support there, and there's a lot of information provided throughout the year in terms of the progression. We do the CEO workshops. We have the UK University Roadshow, where a number of UK universities come over to us here in Cavan. Now, obviously, this year we had to do it virtually, but normally they would come on site and you get to meet with the colleges themselves and talk to the admissions departments and find out about the courses that they have on offer. We have a lot of guest speakers, past pupils come back to us as well, and they tell us about, you know, they'll come in and talk. We've a past physiotherapy student who qualified over in Teesside, and she'll come back and talk to the students about her experience over there and how to prepare for the interview. So we give a lot of support in terms of the progression, and if you're interested in moving on into further higher education, the support will be here to help you with all of that. So thank you very much. I hope you found that very, very helpful. We only have a couple of minutes left, so I'm just going to go very quickly to the Q&A. Let's have a quick look here and see. Oh, brilliant question, actually, and one that I love being asked is, would you advise sitting your Leaving Cert again or doing a PLC course? 96% of the time I would advise doing a PLC course. So it does depend on what the end goal is. If you're looking at going into something like medicine or dentistry, or, you know, some of these very high point courses, sometimes it is better to go back and repeat and to try and get the points. But if you're looking at other areas, it's definitely worth considering the PLC route to see if there's an alternative way of getting into it. Because if you have to think, if you miss out on a course by 50 points or 60 points, like to go back and repeat the Leaving Cert, it's a big feat. It's a big undertaking to try and come up 50 or 60 points in your Leaving Cert. You're talking about coming up a grade in nearly every subject. So definitely consider the PLC route, find another alternative way into that course. And if that's something that you're concerned about or worried about at the moment, get in touch with us. If you just email admin at cavininstitute.ie or guidance@cavininstitute.ie, and one of the guidance team can give you a call back and discuss what PLC would be the best option for you. So I think that's all we have time for. Let me see if we have any more questions. Okay, so yeah, I think that's kind of what we have time for. Just to remind you all, we have lots of more events coming up for the rest of the week. This evening we have the Beauty Therapy School is going to be discussing their courses at 7 p.m. We have the barbering and hairdressing at 7:30, science and animal care at 8, and then hospitality at 8:30. And you can find the links for all of those on our website. Just go on to cavininstitute.ie and you'll see a banner at the top for our virtual week, and just click on that and you'll find all the links. We have some more lunchtime events coming up tomorrow and Friday, which Aoife Ward, my colleague, guidance counsellor here in Cavan Institute, will be discussing some other options for you. And again, we have the open evening tomorrow as well. So please do join us if you can. Thank you so much for your time, and get in touch with us if we can help in any way or if you have any questions. Thank you.